crypto noobs? It's Sunday. You know what that means? That means Michigan won their football game yesterday. They played like crap against Fresno State. At the beginning of the game, they got a touchdown real quick because the defense got an interception. And then basically the defense won the game for them. It was very disheartening. I'm concerned. I think Michigan's going to get their butt kicked this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they lose 3 games this year. It's kind of a bummer. With that said, time to talk about Bitcoin. I turned off my Bitcoin notifications because I'm so bored right now with Bitcoin. It's 58, 57,000, 62,000. It's just channeling. It's creating a wedge pattern, which means it's going to break out either up or down. I'm banking on it's breaking up because we've got the Fed coming up here this month. They're going to lower interest rates. I think Jay Powell will lower the rates 0.5%, but he's a complete idiot, so they're probably going to do 0.25% and see what happens. But since the Fed does everything based on historical patterns, like what's going on, they're always reactive. They're not proactive. So they take their damn good old time, try not to screw things up, and in the interim, they do screw it up. So if they drop it a 0.5 point, Bitcoin's going to run like crazy. If it's 0.25 point, maybe it'll run to 70,000. But it's just got to break out of this pattern right now. It's got to break above 63,000, stay above it for a few days, and then that'll establish a new bottom for it. So I keep telling everyone, you better buy a Bitcoin right now. It's going past 100,000 by the end of the year. It has no choice. I mean, you've got institutions loading up. Over 1,000 companies bought Bitcoin last quarter. You've got governments buying Bitcoin. The ETFs are buying Bitcoin. Hundreds of millions of dollars going to Bitcoin. Some large entity, probably BlackRock, took $500 million of Bitcoin off of Coinbase on Friday, and they put it into cold storage wallets. Whenever you see money coming off Bitcoin, like off of markets like that, the exchange is going into cold storage. That means that someone knows that the markets are going to run. And generally speaking, when it's $500 million, it's not a person, it's institutions. So the institutions are taking money out, taking Bitcoin out, putting in the cold storage. You've got that. You've got Jay Powell. They're going to lower interest rates. They're probably going to provide some liquidity to markets. There's going to be a lot of hiring going on, a lot of buying going on. Consumers are going to be confident. Of course, they're doing this because they want to keep the shit show going on that we've got in DC right now. But anyway, that's irrelevant. Bitcoin's going to run. Probably another week or two, you've got time to buy some Bitcoin or buy the IBIT Trust or buy the ARK Invest Trust. And if you're like, well, it's too late to get into Bitcoin. It's never too late to get into Bitcoin. If you look at the expert predictions, by 2040, Bitcoin will be $10 million a coin. If you buy it at 60,000, if you buy a piece of it, you're going to what? You're going to 10, 15, or 20x Bitcoin in the next 20 years. That's 2,000% interest. Where are you going to get a 20x in your investments right now? Nowhere. Your investments are going to die. Why else? Because it's completely decentralized. It's the first digital system of accounting in the world. It is digital gold, like what Michael Saylor says. There's a finite amount. There's 21 million that'll ever be mined, and I think based on looking at the wallets, there's only about 15 million that are really out there that haven't been lost. So there's a limited supply. I can't keep doing this. This is ridiculous. I still own about 30 billion of the FODI token. I'm not going to talk about it because it's been going down, but I'm just going to hold on to it. So I've got about $32,000 of FODI token. I've said this a million times. If you buy meme tokens, they are going to zero. All of them, even Doge. In fact, Ether is going to go to zero. I mean, Ethereum is probably going to make a run here, but when they went from proof of work to proof of stake, they stepped on their dick on that one. And Vitalik Buterin, he knows he did. It's based on greed now rather than math. Rather than, if you base something on math, you're going to win, right? Because there are rules to math. There are no rules to a centralized ledger because anyone can change the name of the game. Like Vitalik can go in there and decide to give himself more Ether. He can print more, print less. He can sell. It doesn't matter. It's a complete scam. Matter of fact, if I owned Ether right now, personally, I sold all my Ether a while, like 6 months ago, and bought Solana. I've been loading up on Solana because if you look at the transactions per second, you look at the cost of each transaction, Solana actually just completely destroys the Ethereum blockchain. I'm sorry, guys. If you like Ethereum, you need to sell it. Buy some Bitcoin. Bitcoin's is the only one that's going to be left when the dust settles 5-10 years on the road. You might have a few. Maybe Solana's going to be left over. Of course, the stable coins, some of them will make it. USDT will make it. USDC, I think it's on its way out. But Bitcoin's going to go to 100 grand. I was looking at how Bitcoin has grown each year since I got into it around 2012, and on average, it's averaged about 55 to 60% interest on average per year for the last 12 years. And there's no other asset in the world that's been able to do it. And it's going to continue to do that for the next several years, the average, right? So I had a friend ask me about, well, why don't I just take my money and put it in the bank right now and get 7% on the CD? And I'm like, all right, well, I'll give you one reason why. If you take the interest rate that you're given at the bank, CD, IRA, whatever, there's a math rule called the rule of 72, and it says that if you take your interest rate, you divide it into 72, it'll tell you the number of years that it'll double. So if you were to take $1,000 and put it into a 7% CD, lock it in because interest rates are going to drop, it would take you 11 years for, is that true? 11 years for the $1,000 to double, because 7 goes into 72, 10 years for it to double. Okay. Experts are predicting that Bitcoin will be $1 million in the next 10 years. So that means it will, 15x in the next 10 years. So if you put $1,000 into Bitcoin right now, in 10 years you'll have $15,000 in Bitcoin. If you put $1,000 into your bank CD, in that same amount of time you'll have doubled your money. So what do you want to do? You want to turn 1,000 into 2,000, or do you want to turn 1,000 into 15,000 or more? Right? That's the lower level of the predictions right now. So that's why I keep telling everybody, even if you buy $100 in Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin goes to $1 million, you made $1,500, right? You 15x it. So just think about 15xing your money over the next 10 years, and then you decide how much Bitcoin. Put $10 in, put $1 in. Every time I get money, I buy Bitcoin. I've been doing it, buying Bitcoin for the past 12 years, every time I've gotten money. Other than what I loaded up on originally for under $100, my brother and I still buy Bitcoin now. I buy Solana now. I own a bunch of Solana. So, what I keep telling everyone, what I'm telling you guys, if you can't afford Bitcoin or you don't want to buy Bitcoin, then buy one of the ETFs. You can use Swan Bitcoin, and you can buy your first 20,000 or so Bitcoin for no fees. So if you really want to, and you can buy any amount. You can buy $5, you can buy $50, you can buy $100, you can buy $5,000. So my suggestion is, every time you decide maybe I'm going to go to Starbucks and pay $10 for a cup of coffee, put that $10 away. At the end of the week, you get $50, buy $50 in Bitcoin, right? You drink the coffee, it's gone. You buy the Bitcoin, you hold on to it. 10, 15 years on the road, you're going to have a lot of money. Buy Bitcoin. It's going to, when they lower the interest rates here in the next probably 2 weeks, when the Fed has their meeting, Bitcoin's going to run. And honestly, by the time December rolls around, I think all of the retail investors that are not multimillionaires are going to be priced out of Bitcoin for good. You're never going to see these prices in Bitcoin again. They're going to be gone forever. So my suggestion is that you buy Bitcoin now. I was also reading an article. I thought the United States, we kind of cornered the market. Our people, we're all so smart, we're buying Bitcoin. But it turns out UAE owns about 32 or 33% of all the Bitcoin that's been produced. And then it's Vietnam. I wouldn't even have considered Vietnam. And then the United States is number 3. And then you can look at the other 20. On Friday, some gigantic investor pulled $500 million of Bitcoin off of Coinbase and put it into cold storage wallets. Now, you know what that means. I don't know if I've already talked about this because I don't have a script, but that means that the institutional investors, in fact, I already talked about this. I'm going to say it again. Institutional investors know something's going on with Bitcoin. They know it's going up, and they don't want you to know that. So they distributed it amongst several wallets, 10 or 15 or 20 different wallets. They put like 100 and some Bitcoin in each wallet, and they're just sitting there watching it. They're not going to sell. Mr. 100 picked up 500 more Bitcoin. The IBIT Trust pulled in a couple $100 million of Bitcoin last year. Governments have pulled in. Municipalities are buying it. There are over 1,000 companies that filed in their 13F quarterly reports that bought Bitcoin last month. Did anyone tell you about that? No. You know why? Because the big corporations do not want you to know what they're doing. They want the retail investors to get screwed. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Citibank, Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley actually, they have their brokers are out in the field selling Bitcoin right now to their ultra rich clients. Okay, they already are. Wells Fargo is starting this month. They're going to start offering Bitcoin to their investors. But JP Morgan, who else? Citibank. These other banks, you can bet your ass they're going to get on board because they don't want to get lost in it. So if you get 6 of the largest banks in the world offering Bitcoin to their clients, amongst everything else that's going on, Bitcoin has nowhere to go but up. It's going to go crazy, and whoever owns Bitcoin is going to make so much money. It's not even going to be fair. So remember, you're buying Bitcoin to create a legacy for your children, your grandchildren, your great grandchildren. You got to buy Bitcoin. I'm not buying any meme tokens. Like I said, I own FODI. I'm holding on. I got 30 grand in FODI. I'm just going to stick it. If it goes zero, it goes zero. I don't mind. But if it's something that you can't afford to lose, don't do it. And number two, like I said before, all meme coins, including Doge and all these other shit meme tokens that do nothing, they're all going to zero. I've said this for the past few years in my videos. Maybe you can gamble and make a little bit of money, but if you're not interested in gambling, take your money, buy Bitcoin. Now, the important thing. Michigan plays Texas next Saturday. I think our defense is going to do great against Texas, and I really want Michigan to win, so I'm going to take Michigan for the win. But in reality, I think Texas is probably going to win 31-17 or something. They're coming to Michigan too. Makes me sad to say that because I love Michigan. I went to Michigan. Breaks my heart to think Michigan's going to lose, but anyway. Buy Bitcoin. Download the Swan Bitcoin app. It's got an S or a Bitcoin sign. Go to your app store, download it, link your bank to it, start buying Swan Bitcoin. Buy $50 worth, buy $100 worth, buy whatever you can. If I could take a mortgage on my home today, I would mortgage my home. My wife won't let me. She says we have enough Bitcoin, which we have more than we'll ever need, but I would still do it because this is a once in a species opportunity. You're never going to get this opportunity again. You will never see an investment vehicle where there's a limited supply, a finite supply, probably ever again. This is our one chance. So if you are buying Bitcoin, let me know. I'll encourage you. If I know you and you're interested in learning more about Bitcoin, because I know some of the followers, I know these people, let me know. We'll get together, we'll sit down and we'll talk about Bitcoin, why it's so important, why it's so amazing. Anyway, go blue. I know it's not till next Saturday. Everybody have a happy Labor Day, and we'll be talking soon. Bitcoin. What's the name? Crypto Noobs. That's right. I'm out of here.